Wait, there it goes. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. So back to my story. So we're going from Pittsburgh to Greenville with this conference. And when I put out the call for speakers, wow, I thought nobody knows me. Who's going to want to come speak at this conference? You know, Tasha, I'm blessed to know Becky. And I was like, who's going to want to come speak? And I put out that call for speaker, and the best of the best have shown up. And I mean that. When we were putting together the conference, Holly and I put together the itinerary, she's like, wow, this is better than Pittsburgh. So gifted and inspirational speakers are on the plate for all of you. And we're excited for the people that have signed up. We're excited for those that are coming, but we're hoping that with this little Zoom info here we're doing, that we can continue to inspire you to come. Bring your friend, bring your aunt, bring the person that you rely on, that's there for you to watch your child, because they need it too. And Jen Zendek is part of our expansion, our regional expansion. She's our ambassador for the north of Pittsburgh. And I wanted to let her speak a little bit about her conference experience.
Yes. Yeah, I'm Jen. I'm admittedly one of the wedding crashers, and I like to find the karaoke. We have lots of fun, but the learning and just the connection. And I was in a similar boat too. Like my son was diagnosed, and I was almost 3 hours from family. My husband worked shift work. All of my friends that I had, I couldn't relate to anymore, and I was just so isolated. And I just did a Google search, and we were thinking about moving to Pittsburgh for resources, and I came across the Autism Caring Center. And I saw a conference, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of hitting rock bottom here, and I just need to do something different. So I went not knowing anybody, and I just was met with so many moms I just had an instant connection with. And I even met my current best friend who lives 15 minutes from me, and our sons went the same IU in the same school district, and I didn't even know her before then. So now I have friends in different states, different counties. My kids love going to the center, the fade away, like we just feel like we can just relax because we just no judgment. We can just fit in, relax, and just everything like that. So yeah, and I even remember like checking into my hotel that first night, and just to have a hotel room by myself, I just took a breath of relief, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what is this silence? What is this peace? I can just sit here and like decompress and just recharge. And I hadn't felt that in so long. So I mean, it just was amazing, the connection, the relaxation, and then just all the tools I learned from the speakers. I mean, I don't know where else you get that in the area. It's not really a common thing. So I love hearing all the different speakers, and it's just the best. I can't recommend it anymore. Highly recommend. You won't regret going if you go, and you just get so much out of it. Mommy.
Yeah. Thank you, Jen. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we kicked off our Friday night, the first one I think Jen was at, and we had the women do a scavenger hunt. So they had to get to know each
That was
other
the
pretty
best.
fast, and they were doing headstands. And then the following year there was a wedding, and they crashed it. So that because we usually have it in hotels, and it was a pretty large hotel in Pittsburgh, and it was accommodating us and a wedding. And the next morning I was waiting to leave, and somebody saw my bag. It said Autism Caring Center. He goes, "Oh, I met you last night." And I said, "No." And he goes, "You weren't part of the wedding crashers?" And then the next thing I know, there's all these women online with the bride and the groom taking pictures. And they really just, once in a year, you get to go out and really just connect with other moms who get it and just kind of relax and learn. And I guess for your area, Tasha's our validating stamp um, for that conference and that piece that you guys need in the field that she's in. I trusted her opinion with that need to be there. So I hope you guys can make it. Becky is part of Champion Autism Network, and she's one of our speakers. If you want to introduce yourself, Becky.
Hey everybody, Becky Large. Looking forward to just being with you and experiencing this. Having known Kelly for a number of years, yeah, I'm sure that this is just going to be amazing, like the connections that we're all going to make because I get to plan quiet parties for a living and invite the whole family to come out and play. And there's nothing quite like being with people who get it. And I just can't imagine being, I get to see moms, but then the dads are there too, and the kids are there too, and like all that stuff. So just hanging, it's going to be wonderful. And, if you have any questions or anything for any of us prior, just let us know. But if you can do it, I know it's like I've asked a lot of people from the Myrtle Beach area, Grand Strand to come. I know it's a lot, it's 2 nights away. I think if you could swing it though, you'd really be happy. So, like I said,
Yeah,
anything I can do to serve, you let us know.
yeah. And we have Tom Beeson. I have not had a chance to talk to you yet, so
Oh,
I'm excited. So tell me about your presentation because I haven't heard anything yet. So let us have
no,
it.
sure. So my name's Tom Beeson. I work at Clemson University, and I have the privilege of working with um, young autistic adults at Clemson. And so, my presentation is going to focus on after, high school or high school and older. And of course, I'm not an autism mom. I am an autism dad. And so I really want to help people think about next steps, especially for those students who, there are high expectations for, right? I mean, we have high expectations for all our kids, but going to the next level in post-secondary education is certainly something that is going to be on the list for a lot of autistic kids. And, you know, it can go well. It can also go off the rails.
And get
And
off the
so I
rails.
want to kind of help people think through some of that, both
Yeah.
readiness and also the parental role while kiddos doing college or
Mhm.
some other post-secondary kind of education.
Yeah, and
So,
I think it's hard because as parents and my son's 22. It was hard with my girls, but then when you don't have that privilege of knowing all the information and you're trying to help guide your child that may not understand all those social cues that come along with college, plus the help that may or may not be there. I think your presentation is very, very important. So I'm looking forward to the guidance that you're going to provide all of us with that.
No, thank you. And, I think that probably all of us have heard from someone, well, maybe not all of us, but I'm sure that many people have heard kind of to lower expectations for kids. When someone gets diagnosed, often there's this message that they may not achieve in the way that you're expecting that they'll achieve. And, to some extent that may be true, but my guess is that most of the moms at the conference are working hard to make sure that there are high expectations
Oh
and
yeah.
that often is going to involve, a independent adult life, a career of some sorts that is fulfilling and, also significant relationships as an adult. So, that's all kind of part of that whole process.
Yeah, I
I'll
couldn't
also
agree
add,
more.
yeah, I also add that I used to work with a post-secondary inclusion program, a TIPSIT program, so I can kind of speak a little bit to programs that are for people who might be autistic and also have a co-occurring intellectual disability as well. So that's the other kind of piece there is that there are lots of post-secondary opportunities for our kids. And it's good to know, especially if you have a young kid, you may not know what's going to be best for them when they're 18 or 20, but you can start thinking about that and educating yourself about that and understanding what those different options look like.
Yeah. And there's so much to plan, right? And so, when we talk about that planning, Hampton is the next. I mean, like, I am so excited to hear you talk. And I don't know how I'm going to bounce in and out of all these rooms, but I'm going to. But Hampton's coming from Spartanburg. Is that correct? I'm learning all these cities and towns. So, can you tell us a little bit about what you have in store for us at the conference?
Yeah, no, thank you, Kelly. And I'm, it's so funny. We're always trying to look and find different conferences to attend. Our office is in Charlotte, which is about 2 hours or so from Greenville. So a lot of what we do is kind of in the area, and being from the upstate of South Carolina, about 30, 45 minutes from where the conference will be. I'm always trying to find conferences that are there. And I actually found out through Janetta Bryant, that'll also be a speaker, um, that this was coming. And I said, oh my gosh, we have to figure out how to sign up for it. And then I got an email from you asking, hey, would you be interested in speaking at it? And I was like, oh my goodness, this is even better. So we're really excited. Our group, a special needs plan, is a planning firm that we work with families around the country, in developing a multi-generational plan that is really designed to be um, it's designed to be coordinated, in that it sort of connects all of the financial, the legal, the government benefit pieces, what we call the communication strategy, whether they're siblings, aunts, uncles, other family members
Mhm.
that need to be involved, so that, as we look at from the parental standpoint, the most common thing we hear from parents is, what happens when I'm not here? And how do we give those parents, right, peace of mind, and confidence that their loved one, usually a son or daughter, their future is going to be secure? And we have kind of an acronym we use, life, lasting independence for everyone. And we want to define that for each family that we work with, no matter what that looks like for their loved one, and build a holistic plan that allows them to have the resources available to achieve that. And what we end up seeing a lot of times with families that we've worked with for several years, or maybe mom and dad aren't here, is, if we've done it in the right way, that the siblings are now involved and they know what happens, so they're not left in the dark.
Yeah,
So again, kind of get back into what Tom shared is, right,
yeah,
we want to let every family determine what are their goals, what are their hopes and dreams, what do they want for their child or their loved one, and then how do we try and marry a plan with that that allows them to have, in some cases, kind of like a safety net,
yes.
but confidence and security that their son, their daughter, their loved one's going to be able to have the day-to-day support and the financial resources to provide that.
Yeah. And he's going to be amazing. He has a really strong why, and it's on our YouTube channel as to why he got into this field, and why he wants to help our families. And we're going to share a little bit of that later this week too. But I'm really appreciative of you taking time away from your family tonight and on the weekend of the 15th to come down to Greenville and give your presentation and get to meet our families and show them support. I cannot tell you, as Jen said, and I'm sure Becky and Kaz have felt the same way, and even Debbie, like, we feel alone. And so to know that there's people out there working on behalf of our children and our families to make sure we're supported, and then you're going to show up on a Saturday away from your family, that's priceless. And, we can't thank you enough for doing that. So I really appreciate you doing that, and being here. So
It's
it
my
really means
pleasure.
a lot.
I'm excited
So
to be a part of it.
yeah. And what better than a group of women to talk to, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, so we
Exactly.
have a 45. So if anybody's wondering, so most of the sessions are, they're based on where you're at in the journey. It's not based on the severity of your child. I had some people ask me, well, my son's very, he's, is severe, we've or profound. And then, oh, my son's more higher functioning. I don't fit in there. You fit in here. This is not about the severity of your child. This conference is designed for you, the mom, you, the caretaker. And if none of those subjects hit you, like, oh, I have my special needs plan, or my son's never going to college, then go to a self-care class. Go listen to Becky speak about her journey, about not being alone, and how she founded her community and what she's done with it since then. Go listen to Tasha talk about self-care, who, reminds you to take a deep breath. And you wouldn't believe how many people did not remember how to take a deep breath until she presented it at conference. It was really empowering, her speech up here in Pittsburgh. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody and all the information. And, we all have this common thread that we're a little bit lost, and we know there's other people out there, and we're beating the drum, and we need to all come together, get off of Facebook, get off of these groups where we found you all, come to the conference in person and meet your neighbor that's probably 15 minutes down the street. I had the great opportunity of meeting Kaz at Panera Bread. So she came in, and very excited to meet her. Another connection through Tasha. Her and another mom showed up to the Panera to talk to us about the conference. And Kaz is going to be our opening speaker. I really connected with her just in that little bit of time. And I'll let you share a little bit about yourself, Kaz.
So I'm from South Africa. My family and I moved here about 4 years ago, coming up 4 years. And our oldest son, we have three sons. Our oldest is on the spectrum, and he will be 25 next week. And what I'm going to be talking about is finding balance, because yes, we got to do IEPs, and yes, we have to find out about therapy, and we've got to go to the OT, and we have to do financial planning, all those things. But autism is so vast, it can consume us. And I'm very much type A person. And when my son was first diagnosed, I skipped over all the stages of grief, and I just went into action mode, to the point that I got my master's in ASD and opened my own business in ABA. So I kind of went to the extreme of what can I do. And I think being a mom of a child on the spectrum, and also working in the field, it's a double-sided thing. I always felt when someone needs help, space for one more, come on in. But in the meantime, myself getting drained and having less for my family, less to offer my own children. And my husband would say to me, you can only do as much as you can do. And I would say, no, you can always do more than you can do. And I realized that it's true. You can always do more than what you can do, but it will be at the sacrifice of something else. So it will be the sacrifice of your relationship with your partner or your spouse, or the time you have for the other siblings in the family, or for your extended family, or for your own health. Something will have to give. So finding that balance of not labeling yourself as the autism mom and taking that on as your identity, looking for other areas where you can have hope and joy and an outlet that doesn't involve autism, which I think is really hard for a lot of moms, because we want to give our kids everything that we can. We want to give them, we're going to be their voice, we're going to be their advocate, we're going to, do or die, I'm going to get there. Yeah. And trying to just realign with what is the part that autism plays in my life. Because if it's the biggest part, burnout is just around the corner. So not just the self-care, but also the realigning of direction for pacing yourself for the future. Not just have a break on the weekend and go back to chaos when you get home on Monday, but have an outlook that has a healthy balance for all the parts of your life.
Yeah. So when we met at Panera on Saturday, and I was talking to her about she was giving me a list of places to go and places to reach out to and who I need to talk to and get in touch with there. I knew that she had done her research in the area there and knew who the connections were to talk to about making sure these moms found relief at the conference. And as being a mom herself, and, as she said, going to the extreme and be opening up her own practice and, giving back to other people, I knew she would be the perfect person to talk about when it's gone too far and how to reel that in. So yes. You probably should have talked to me before I started the nonprofit, and then a conference, and let's throw something else in there, but no, I really feel blessed that you're going to be our opening speaker at conference on November 15th.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and looking forward to that. Like I said, if you have not purchased your tickets or you're on the fence, this is designed for you to really listen to these speakers and myself and understand our why. There's no other reason but for the moms. And I totally believe that when you have the tools in your tool belt and actionable steps that you can take home, that you can relate to, that you're like, oh, I heard what Becky said, but I can't remember, or, you're not being spoken at. This is a workshop style conference that you're going to have tools to take home with you and be able to apply them and use them right away. Like what Tom was saying about coming up with that plan for college. Even if you're not there yet, you're going to be able to listen to Hampton because, gosh, I mean, last time I talked to him, I'm like, yeah, I got to get on that. And I still haven't gotten on it. So, and I still don't have that worked out. However, I know it needs done. So passing the information on to those that are willing to provide it to us to come to the conference, it's worth it to invest in yourself at this point. Maybe it's your Christmas present, maybe it's your birthday present, maybe it's something that you do for you and you probably haven't thought about that in a long time. But you need to make that investment, or stay home from coffee for a couple days or something, but make sure that you get there and meet other moms. Like Jen said, they're probably right down the road, but you just don't know it. And Deb, how long have you been coming to conference?
Let me see. Last year and then 2 years before that was my first one.
Okay.
Or
And you had fun.
So 23 and 25 I went to.
Okay. And how old your child?
He is 33 today.
Okay. So even being a tenured mom, like you've been in this for a while, you were able to find what you were missing there. Like, because Jen's son's only 5. So your son's was 31 at that point when you came to conference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the sense of community is really important. I live extremely rural. There were 4 moms with kids my age in the area, and 2 of them have passed away. So it's lonely sometimes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of younger moms with higher functioning kids and things, but we don't have that community. We don't get together. And so I really enjoyed. I came expecting to be able to give and to help, and I got more than I gave. So
Oh, that's amazing. That's
thank you.
amazing. Were you there you came last year too, right?
In 25, yeah.
Yeah. That's this year. See, I have like that calendar brain, like when your kids are in school, you're like, oh, the year starts in September. For me, it's like the year starts in conference now. So we usually have it every April and then everything goes from there. So we had a lot of different speakers this year too. Um, and I think they were all very helpful, but I mean, I know we had Judith Orsitti from Profound Autism Alliance, and she was really good. And we're so close to our kids, and we always see like Tom said, we're these moms that are beating down walls, putting in doors, right? Trying to make the doors open, trying to put in any type of outlet through that wall for our kids to walk through and make sure it's not there when they get there. But, I had a mom come up to me and say to me, I never thought that, they had profound autism. Do you think? And I was like, yeah, because we're so close, But after hearing Judith speak, and I was surprised because, you don't realize where your child's at. And when you come together with all these moms, whether their child's 33 or like Jen 5, you find that sense of community and probably somebody did learn from you, Deb. I'm sure they did. So I'm sure that you gave some type of wisdom, and that's all. Sometimes that's all you need is just a smidge to, hang that hope on, or help you get through. So I'm glad that you've come for the last couple years and were able to find yourself at conference that way.
I have to sign off, but I wanted to say it was
Okay.
lovely to meet all of you. I can't wait to see you in person and hug your necks. And Kelly, can't wait to see you.
I know, we're
Good night,
excited.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Becky. Thank you.
Bye. I wanted to say too, yeah, I really love talking to moms like a few steps ahead of me because it just helps so much, So it really helps the younger moms as well.
Yeah. And we
That is
make
something
sure.
I wish I had when my son was young, which I didn't. And
Yeah.
being able to offer that back. I hope we meet Jen
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not able to make it to this one, but
I'm trying to get her down there. I'm trying.
we'll
I
see.
know there's some people that are on mute and I can't see them either, but do you have any questions for us, or is there anything that we can help you sort through, or questions about the conference? I see Laura and I see Jordan, but I don't know if she can talk. And then there's somebody that says Nobi, Nobie. Oh,
Hi, everyone. I jumped in. This is Laura. How's
hi.
everyone? I
Good. How
jumped
are
in
you?
late, so sorry. I got back up at work. So I'm like, I didn't know about this. I knew about the conference at the convention they had here in Greenville. So it's completely new. I have a 5-year-old. So what Jen was saying is early on having that support. That's all I took out of this call is that early on support. I was like, well, that's something.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole new world. So I'm just starting in what you said. I really saw myself in trying to balance with my career and like being at all the PTA meetings and all the IEP meetings, wanting to be as involved as I can at school early on. So I think with this call, I will buy my tickets. I just didn't know what to expect with the little thing I did here, just connecting with more families near my community. Because right now I can say I don't have any autism moms as friends or as connections. So making those connections, I think that's going to be awesome.
So there, Laura, there's a speaker, her name's Dr. Morlisa, and she's going to be talking about IEPs and 504s and all that good stuff that you might be diving into. There's a speaker coming from Pennsylvania talking about sensory issues, which you might be seeing with your child. And then there's, those self-care speakers that are so important. And it sounds like you need to take a break. And like Kaz said, I did not have this when my son was 5. I was raised like you to work and take care of my kids. And I came from a single mom home. My dad died when I was really young, so I was always raised to work. So when I was told I had to stay home, I was like, I can't stay home. I have to work. And I couldn't. I had to stay home, and then I had to try to figure out what seemed like a different language with all the acronyms and all the confusion. And then I suddenly felt so inadequate. And
Mhm.
when we were able to put this conference together, that's what it was for. It was for somebody that might be at the beginning, but also, like Deb said, her son's 33 and she still finds the benefit from it. So I would encourage you to come. It would be a really nice, you know, it would just be nice to have a cup of coffee. There are some women that said they couldn't sleep the night before because they were sleeping by themselves. They came the night before the conference and they're like, I'm so used to sleeping with somebody. I don't know what this feels like.
It was too
So, I mean,
quiet.
it was too quiet. It's like nobody needs me. And I remember saying to one mom, how'd you sleep? She goes, I couldn't sleep. He wasn't in bed next to me. There was nobody that needed anything. So I mean, it's a little bit of a break right before the holidays. Give yourself something and, try to make those arrangements and come. Do you live close to Greenville or are you right in
Yes, I do.
Greenville?
No, I live in Greenville.
Do you have anybody that you rely on that is also your secondary caretaker, like another mama or aunt or sister or?
No.
Okay. All right. Because sometimes it's good to bring them along. I know
Okay.
some people have shown up with like their
Okay.
best friend or something like that
Yeah.
because they end up having fun too. So
Okay.
just something to
And
keep
then
in
when I
mind.
know it's 2 days, right? And
So
so
it's Friday night is a really fun meet and greet. We have a really a fun interactive way of getting everybody together and to kind of have somebody come to conference with. There are discounted rooms if you want to spend a night, and that starts at 6, and we have dinner as well. And then Saturday is when all the speakers are. So Saturday it'll start at 8 o'clock, and we'll probably wrap up right around 4.
okay.
Yeah. So I know it sounds like a long time. If you're spending the night, it feels like but it's not even 24 hours, even if you spend the night. So it's really not that long. So I hope you decide to come.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And Friday night, it really is such a bonding experience. I almost think it's better than Saturday night, to be honest with you, because it's just where a lot of the real connections happen. So I really encourage the Friday night if you
Yeah,
can.
Friday night's fun. And
Thanks for that.
and because of that, we did Friday night as our meeting night, and then Saturday night you're kind of on your own because we found a lot of people are kind of worn out Saturday night. They're done. They've taken in so much information and their cup is full. Some of them decide to go back home. So it wasn't really for me, I'm going to be spending the night Saturday night too, but Saturday night's kind of on your own, but there's a lot of shopping right there on that street. And if you're from the area, I guess you know that the shopping gen alone is like
It sounds
I think I'm in a Christmas shop the whole time I'm there. I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to be sneaking out. So thank you, Laura, for jumping on. Do you have any questions for Hampton or Kaz or Tom? I mean, I know he's only 5, but
No, I just hope to meet you guys there and
yeah.
see what happens. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Let us know if you have any questions. Does anybody else have any questions? Let's see. I thought I saw something in the chat. Hold on. Oh, I'm getting old. No questions. I will be in New York. Oh, okay. Jordan's coming to New York, so we're having a little luncheon in New York on Saturday, and that's going to be fun as well. So we're having a couple speakers there and starting that out a little bit small. That's in a very rural area, like Deb was talking about, and so we're looking forward to spilling that, giving them some information, and letting them all meet as well. So I don't see anybody else jumping on, and I don't want to keep anybody else too long. So thank you guys for everybody for jumping on and supporting the Autism Connecting Conference for moms. I know the women are going to be happy to see all of you, and we're going to have so much fun on Friday night. Like Jen said, it is the best time. And Deb, she enjoyed herself as well because it really is a chance to, oh, there's Lindsay. She's Jordan, if you're on here, Lindsay is speaking at in New York. Hi, Lindsay. I'm trying to talk Lindsay into coming to South Carolina too.
Hi, I'm at
Hi.
soccer practice.
You're at soccer practice.
And I
Lindsay
just
was
got
our
connected, so
Lindsay was our closing speaker in Pittsburgh last year. She had us all in tears, but there was Jordan was on here and I think she jumped off. But she was coming to New York, Lynn. So we were just talking about experience at conference and Friday night and the different speakers. We were actually getting ready to jump off because I didn't see anybody else jumping on. So but Lindsay will be at the New York luncheon. She's speaking, giving her story in a very humorous way, but it's also very hopeful. So I'm hoping that she brings herself down to the Carolinas and spread some of that joy that she has. So even through everything she's been through, she has a really great outlook on life, her and her whole family. So I'm hoping to see her there. Deb, you heard her speak. And Jen, yeah, she gave a really good wrap up of what it's like to be in this world and to find the support. So, all right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to meeting Tom and Hampton both. And Tom, I'm going to get with you to do your one-on-one interview. So,
Thank you,
hi.
Kelly.
all right, thank you.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.